Hey everybody, welcome back to the Strategy Game Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Shippey, and today we are kicking off a new mini-series on identity. So stay tuned because we're going to connect this directly to your strategy this year for 2021. Okay, so let's dive into this. As we enter into a new year, this is a great time to just pull back and really evaluate who we are and why we're doing what we're doing. And these questions are critical and they're directly linked to our strategy, whether it's for our life, our nonprofit, or our business. So in this mini series, we are going to talk about defining your fuel. And in that, we mean just removing any holdbacks that might hinder you from moving forward or growing in the season so that you can strip away all that holds you back and run with freedom. And by run, I don't mean strive. By run, I mean walk forward confidently in who you are with the gifts and the talents that you have to offer to the world. Confidently. So that's really what we're going to be covering today. And then we're going to move into a series on fear, feeling insufficient. And then we're going to talk about really our identity and what makes us who we are. And there are 4 different pillars of that I'm going to introduce today. And we're going to cover that in more depth in another episode. And that is really the basis of what we refer to at Storywork as identity-based strategy. And we believe that identity matters in who you are as a person and who your team is, who you choose to be on your team, and also just the character and nature that it represents. And so that really flows through all of the things that you do, whether in a business or in life with your family, right, or a nonprofit. So that identity-based strategy really matters because when you have clarity around those things, then you're really able to move forward in a clear path. And it creates clarity for others that might buy your product or service or engage with you. Or if it's a nonprofit, they know exactly what they're supporting and why. And you're able to vision cast clearly as a leader to others. If it's a nonprofit, to donors. If it's not, to your customers, to your team. And you're able to clearly identify who your customers are through user personas. And we talk a lot about that in the strategy masterclass and the consulting work that we do with teams. We really help them get clear on who they speak to, who those people are, and really knowing and hearing and seeing them so that they're able to translate that into a strategy that speaks back to them how they want to be spoken to. And so all of this is really connected together in a big picture kind of way. And so today we're going to start at the very foundation. And this is from our course, the Strategy Masterclass. And this is, it's a 3-part course. There's 3 different options. And this is called the Breakthrough Map. And we call this the Breakthrough Map because it's the identity work that lays the foundation and sets the stage to do the other strategy work on the business or the nonprofit or movement. So this work really excites me because to go back to this is really going back to the life strategy side of things, which I really personally love and continue to do with myself. And I can say that, it's definitely a lifelong journey. I don't think you ever really stop doing the work, but it's so rewarding because there are those light bulb moments that happen or those realizations that help you just grow so much as a person. And when you're able to do that, you're able to really see the people around you and you're able to love them and serve them better. And in turn, I believe that brings true fulfillment and joy. So again, you can see that these things are connected. So as we talk about moving into this space, we're talking about identifying the holdbacks. And why do we start here? Well, we start here because we all have holdbacks, right? And those holdbacks might come from fear. They might come from feeling like we are not good enough or like we don't have what it takes, or that we're not prepared to step into a new season or a greater calling or to the next level. We don't have everything we need. And so we go through this, right? In times in our lives, it's cyclical. When we come through to a new challenge, we have to learn how to break through all over again. And a lot of times it doesn't come easily, but it's worth it. So I think that we have to first get clear about really identifying what our personal holdbacks are and looking at those in the face and really taking some time to work through those and just think through them, journal through them, talk through them with trusted friends or mentors or accountability partners. And when we're able to do that, then we're really able to clear the space for stepping into what we need to. And some seasons might be longer than others. You may go through seasons where you're held back for a purpose. So I think that this is a long race. This is a long game. It's not a short game, but it's a game that's worth playing. And so when we look at this, another thing that can contribute to fear or insufficiency is woundedness. And this is something that we're going to talk about when we get into identity. And woundedness comes from things that we have been through in our lives, right? Things, patterns that we've experienced, and those things are worth calling out. And so, I call those spirit crushing moments, and we'll talk about this more, but calling those out by name. I've done this over the years, and I need to continue to do it because there are moments where our spirits are crushed, maybe by others, and intentionally or not intentionally. This happens, right? This happens on the regular. And so when we're able to really get through this cycle in our minds of recognizing it quickly, calling it out, and then resolving or working through it, then we're able to handle more as a leader as well. And we're able to speak life over our teams of people instead of holding on to maybe unforgiveness or anger or bitterness, right? Or just paralyzing fear, right? Or feeling not good enough. So all of these things are really linked together. So today, I just want to challenge you to start by thinking through any holdbacks that you may have. What is standing in the way of where you want to go? So this is like a gap analysis, but for you personally, you as a leader, and we've been through this. You can refer back to the episode on gap analysis for your business or your movement, your company. But today we're doing a personal account. And so just write down anything that you may be feeling fearful about, fear of failure, fear of success, because that can be a real thing. Fear of what others may think of you, fear of how others are perceiving you. There's a lot that we don't, I think, stop to recognize. And when we do, we can say that each of us probably has a certain amount of fear in some areas of our lives. And then I would just encourage you to think through if there are any areas where you're feeling insufficient, where you don't feel qualified, or you don't feel ready, or you don't feel prepared. And I would encourage you just to write them down, just to call them out or say them out loud. And just the practice of recognizing those things will be the start of the journey to removing those holdbacks and to gaining clarity. So any of these holdbacks, think of it like a fog that's come over you. And I don't know about you, but I've experienced somewhat of a fog in 2020. I think just because what we've experienced as a culture, as a society, everything that we have gone through this year has been somewhat traumatic. And it might sound dramatic to say, but I think that we've all on some level experienced some kind of trauma, whether emotional or otherwise. And I think that, it's worth recognizing. It doesn't give us a license to complain. It gives us the space and the freedom that we need to seek healing. And I think that's really what this work is about. This identity-based strategy work on the personal level is seeking to develop a framework really that helps us move through roadblocks. And so when you see it, this is really the framework. It's just seeing it, recognizing it. So that takes self-awareness, right? So maintaining that compass, right? That internal compass of self-awareness. What helps you do that? Think about what blocks you. What are the moments where in your life you can think back on that you've been really blind, that you've been really blindsided? What happened in those moments? Like, look at those things, and really look at what it was that led you off course. What were the distractions? What are the things that you may need to eliminate or be on guard against? And those things are really important that we recognize them, because if anything, we want to live with our eyes wide open. We want to remain alert, and we want to be self-aware as much as we possibly can, so that we can fulfill our calling and also just love others and also receive it, right? So I think that all of these things will help us. And as we think about clearing any of those barriers out, just make it a continuous practice. I would just encourage you to, as you walk through your daily life, to make those things a continuous practice, so that you can keep removing those holdbacks. And if you've enjoyed this episode, stay tuned, because the next few episodes we'll record will be on these topics. And this is really setting the stage. This is laying the groundwork as we enter into a new year, so that we can move forward and that we can then engage in the strategy work that really moves us forward. But we can't get there without first doing this. So if you've enjoyed it and you want more, I will drop the link to the strategy masterclass, the productivity map, and you can go through this on your own. I will tell you, it's well worth your time. It's co-developed with entrepreneurs and our team of experts, and it's a video series, as well as it comes with PDF guides to help you through this. And this is a great time of year to do it. So I will drop the link in there, and thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned.